There are places in Australia that people come to feel wonder. The Daintree Rainforest is one of them. 180 million years old. The oldest continuously surviving rainforest on the face of this planet. Older than the Amazon by 10 million years. Old enough that the trees standing in it today have ancestors that breathed the same air as dinosaurs. People come here from all over the world. They book the cruise. They spot the crocodiles. They photograph the cassowary through a car window and post it online and go home and tell their friends they've seen the real Australia. They see maybe 3% of it. The rest, the deep canopy, the creek systems nobody names, the ridge lines that don't appear on any walking trail map, that belongs to something else. I know because I've worked in it. My name isn't important. I spent 6 years as a ranger in the Daintree region, out of Mossman Gorge and up through to Cape Tribulation. I've done more night walks in that forest than I can count. And there are 3 things I found, 3 things I logged privately and never put in an official report, that I've never spoken about publicly until now. I'm telling them in order of the one that bothers me least to the one that I still can't explain. The last one I'm going to tell you, I've never told anyone. Not my partner, not my old supervisor, nobody. Let's start. The first thing happened about 8 months into the job. Routine patrol, eastern section, off the main tourist corridor. The kind of ground that barely gets foot traffic outside of park staff and the occasional serious bushwalker with a permit. I was checking for feral pig damage along a creek line when I found a boot. Just one. A hiking boot. Good brand, solid construction. The kind that costs $300 at an outdoor gear shop. Sitting upright at the edge of the creek bank. Laces still tied. Not tangled in a root, not washed downstream. Sitting upright. I looked around for the other one, for a pack, for any sign that someone had stopped to rest, or crossed the creek, or left something behind. Nothing, just the one boot. I logged it, took photos, flagged it to the search and rescue coordinator. We ran a check on missing persons. There was nobody unaccounted for in the park at that time. No reported incidents upstream or downstream. The boot was never claimed. I know what you're thinking, people lose gear in the bush all the time. Fair enough. Gear falls out of packs. Things get left behind. But a laced-up boot doesn't fall out of a pack. And you don't walk out of a rainforest creek system with one boot. Nobody ever found the owner. I still think about which explanation is worse, that someone left it there, or that they didn't. The second thing happened in my 3rd year. I want to preface this by telling you I'm not somebody who believes in the unexplained. I'm a science person. I studied ecology. I have deep respect for this country and its traditional owners, the Kuku Yalanji people, who have been custodians of this land for more than 50,000 years, and who know things about it that no training manual ever will. I'm telling you that because I want you to understand that when I say what I'm about to say, I'm not embellishing. I'm not after drama. I'm telling you what I heard and what I could not explain. It was a night monitoring walk, checking on a camera trap we'd set up along a ridge above Thornton Beach. About 2 hours in, maybe 11 at night, I was alone. Standard practice. We train for solo night work, we carry the right gear. We know the ground. The Daintree at night is its own thing entirely. The daytime forest is layered, green, alive with visible movement. But at night, the canopy closes, and the sounds become something you feel more than hear. Deep cicada vibration, things moving in the understory. The occasional sharp crack of a branch that drops for no reason at all. I was used to all of it. What I heard that night, I was not used to. It came from above, not from the understory. Not from ground level, from up in the high canopy, maybe 20-25 meters overhead. A sound I can only describe as rhythmic, like something breathing. Or, and I know how this sounds, like something counting. A low, resonant pulse, even intervals. Steady, not mechanical. Not winging branches. Organic. Patient. I stopped walking and stood still and listened for 4 minutes. I know it was 4 minutes because I was watching my watch. The sound didn't stop while I stood there. It didn't react to me. It didn't speed up or change. It just continued, steady, from the same point in the canopy above. I'm a ranger. I know this forest's animals. I know the call of every bird listed in this park. all 430 species. I know the sounds bats make. I know what a tree kangaroo sounds like moving through branches at night. I know the calls of the orange-footed scrub fowl that sound almost human in the dark. This was none of those things. I shone my torch into the canopy. The beam didn't reach. The green swallowed it. The sound continued. I collected the camera trap data, walked back to the vehicle, and drove out. I wrote in my personal notes, "Unknown auditory event, high canopy, Thornton Ridge, 11:17 p.m., no visual. Duration approx. 4 minutes, possible unknown species behavior, unresolved." In my official report for that night, I wrote, "Camera trap collected, no issues. Returned 0:30. I've thought about what it could have been every week since. I still don't have an answer I'm satisfied with. But I want to tell you something that the Kuku-Yalanji people know. Something that isn't secret, but that most tourists walk straight past. Many prominent features and places in the Daintree have a deep mythological significance. Some areas are considered dangerous to approach, not because of physical hazard, but because of what lives there, beneath the surface, in the old ways of this country. The ridge where I was walking that night is one of those places. I didn't know that when I went up. A Kuku-Yalanji elder told me afterward, quietly, without drama, that I shouldn't go back up there alone at night. I haven't. This is the one I've never told anyone. In my 5th year, a couple, German tourists, mid-30s, experienced travelers, did a self-guided walk on a marked trail in the northern section of the park. A popular trail. Daytime only. Clear weather. Good conditions. They didn't come back. Search and rescue went in that afternoon. They found the couple 3 hours later, about 400 meters off the marked trail in dense undergrowth. Disoriented, dehydrated, but physically unharmed. They'd been missing for 6 hours in an area a reasonably fit person could walk end to end in 40 minutes. They couldn't explain how they'd gotten so far off the trail. They said they'd followed the path and then the path was simply gone. One moment it was there. The next, it wasn't. That happens in rainforest. People get turned around. The canopy closes, the light changes, landmarks blur. It's not unusual. What was unusual was the camera. One of them had been photographing the walk. A proper camera. Digital SLR. Not a phone. They'd taken shots all along the trail in the hours before they went off path. When search and rescue reviewed the images as part of the incident debrief, standard practice, sometimes photographs help establish a timeline. The ranger who reviewed them found something. She flagged it immediately and brought it to me. In the last 11 photographs taken before the couple left the trail, all of them wide shots of the track ahead, forest on both sides, normal composition, there was a figure. Same figure. Every photograph. Standing in the tree line to the left of the trail. Not moving. Not interacting, just standing in the shadow of the canopy, watching the direction of the camera. You couldn't make out features. The canopy shadow was too deep, but the shape was unmistakably upright. Still, and in each photograph, shot after shot as the couple walked further up the trail, it was in the same relative position to them, keeping pace, following. We ran every reasonable explanation we had. Other hikers who might have been parallel to the trail. A ranger on patrol. Light anomaly, pareidolia, the brain finding faces in patterns. We looked hard for the rational answer. None of them held. The figure was too consistent across 11 images. The shape didn't change. The position relative to the walkers didn't change. There were no other registered visitors in that section of the park that afternoon. Nobody had a permit for that area. No ranger was on patrol there. The photographs were logged as part of the incident file, and then, and this is the part that I want you to sit with, the file was marked administrative and closed. The photographs were not included in the summary report. Nobody outside of 3 rangers ever saw them. The German couple were asked if they wanted copies of the reviewed images. They said no. I don't know what was in those photographs. I don't know what followed that couple through the oldest rainforest in the world for 11 frames of a digital camera. But I know that when I walk that section of trail now, and I still do, it's part of my patrol route. I don't look into the tree line to the left, not because there's nothing there, because I don't want to see it looking back. The Daintree is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is protected. It is studied. Thousands of people walk its marked trails every year and see nothing but breathtaking beauty, and that is the truth of it. It is one of the most extraordinary places on this planet. But it is 180 million years old. That is not a number we are equipped to comprehend. 180 million years of rain and rot and growth and death, layered over and over until the ground itself is made of things that lived and were forgotten long before we ever arrived. The Kuku-Yalanji people have known this land for 50,000 years. They understand something that a national park brochure cannot tell you, and that a guided boat cruise cannot show you. Some places are not meant to be fully known. Some things in the deep canopy are older than our ability to name them. Walk the marked trails. Listen to the rangers. And if you're out there after dark, if the forest goes quiet in a way that doesn't feel like quiet, don't shine your torch into the canopy. Whisper, "Some things see the light before you do."